In this video, we're going to take a look at laying out the content area of our home page. Now, if we flip back to our original design spec, you see this area in the middle of our page. It's got, like our product area. Yeah, Rob is putting some ants around it for you right now. It's got our products. It's got some testimonials. It's got the history of the company and whatnot. And what we're going to do is kind of block out and decide where each of those elements is going to be placed inside the great big white spot in the middle of our layout. So, Rob, go ahead and fire away.
Okay. I'm going to use our guides once again and block out an area.
Wait, hold on. Stop. We got to bring the whole thing to a close for just a second. I did notice something we did forget to do in the last video, man.
Right.
Right there at the bottom of that footer.
Right. We need to put the footer information.
Yeah, we could use some copyright info or something.
That's right. And we also need to start cleaning up our layers. We don't want to get a mess.
I didn't mean to scare you guys. It was awesome. If you didn't get to see that, Rob's eyes cut around so quick just then. It's like, oh no, what have we done? Did it explode? No, it's all good.
Not this time.
Yeah, we just need to go ahead and put in some copyright info of some kind.
Okay, so let's go ahead. Copyright 2005 Stones River logging.
Ink. Wow, there you go.
Very official.
Very official.
Okay. And I'm going to put that down here. And the font I used for that, for those keeping score at home, was Verdana 10 point. And the reason I used that font is because that font is on everyone's computer.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't have to be rendered out as a picture. You can use it as regular type.
Mm-hmm.
Stones River logging. There. Okay.
So now we begin laying out our content area. So where do we begin?
Well, first we're going to clean up our palette. So let's start using our folders in our layers palette. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and bring this out to the center.
Ooh, center stage.
And give it some importance. I'm going to make a folder in this first group. I'm going to call it header.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make another folder, call it footer. So I'm going to take the things we just did, like the copyright, and stick it in the footer.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I believe it's this one here, yes.
Need to maybe name those layers.
I'm going to name this, let's call it fade bar. I'll call it gold.
Gold fade bar.
Why not?
As long as the name makes sense to you, then
right.
All's good.
Yeah.
Because nobody else is ever going to see your Photoshop layout for your website.
That's right. But it does help when you can reference it and
know what's going on.
That's right. So I'm going to stick this one in the header because that's, you see, they'll turn it on and off.
Right.
Was this fellow here? That turned out to be the logo. So we'll call it logo.
Nice. How convenient.
Yeah, we'll put him in the header. And here, of course, is our menu. I'm actually going to make a new folder just for him, and we'll see why later. This will be the menu bar.
Okay.
And
now, is that a folder underneath the header folder?
That's right. It's a nested folder. You can keep your folders inside of folders and keep everything nice, neat, and organized.
Awesome.
I highly recommend it. And this, of course, is the background. Actually, I'm going to call it the header background.
Ah, gotcha.
So that there's no confusion. And that way we can close our little triangles here.
Oh, yeah.
We have a nice, neat palette, and we can turn off entire blocks at a time. Very, very cool.
Very efficient.
Very efficient.
Nice.
Okay. So that didn't land. Let's try it again. Technical difficulties.
I don't know if Windows is really going to like you. There you go. I have
nothing
a problem
personal.
with that too. It's something. Could be the mouse or the screen capture. It could be a lot of things.
Okay, so let's start blocking out our content. I'm going to, as we see in our sketch here, we have some space around here. I actually did this a little differently than our sketch, which is fine. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to have some space around our content, give it a little room to breathe.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that right now. And I'm going to do this pixel perfect. I want it to be accurate on each side. So I'm zooming in using my navigator palette.
Okay.
And I'm going to draw using the marquee tool.
Now notice you're starting your line or your marquee selection right up against that gradient.
Right. And so it's bumping right up against it. I'm going to switch over to my info palette. My info palette will tell me exactly how many pixels wide and high this is. So I want it to be a little bit smaller. I'm going to make it 14 pixels high and wide.
Mm-hmm.
No layer selected. Well, we can change that. Let's make a new layer. And that's
so you
going
have
to snap.
a 14 by 14 selection.
That's right.
Gotcha.
Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag a layer. Drag a guide,
Mm-hmm.
and it will automatically snap.
Oh, look at that.
Right? Okay, so that's a little trick there. And I'm going to zoom out.
So you're using the selection as a tool of measurement.
Yeah, it's its own guide, actually.
Nice.
And it's snap it down to this guide.
The guide's guide.
The guide's guide, and make it snap to that selection. And now we have a border. One more. I say now we have a perfect border all the way around.
That is awesome. Great trick.
Yeah. So we have our content area mapped out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to lay out some more guides, actually. Let's draw a box in this case. This one doesn't have to be quite as precise.
Now, what are you, if we were to take a quick look over at our sketch for our original design, what are you laying out right now?
Right. Well, this top area we have reserved for product.
Okay.
Since we're selling logs, we want to put the product high and towards the top, towards the middle. And so I'm going to use about a third of our allotted layout area for that. And what I'm going to do is since I have a layer already, I'm going to fill it just with a color.
Okay.
And I'm going to do that hitting Control-Delete. That looks like nothing happened, but it actually did if you look over here in the layers.
Oh, yeah, you can barely make it out. Now, it might be a little tricky to make out over in screen capture land, over on the video itself, but what he's just done is he's filled that selection with white.
Right. And so, actually, I'm going to give it a color. Let's go ahead and give it a color. And this is just temporary color, just to block out our area. And so I selected a nice gray.
Mm-hmm.
Do the same thing again, Control-Delete. Fills that area.
Nice.
All right, we're going to drop another guide, snap it down here. And we have another area. Let's go back to our sketch.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got the product area.
All right.
Let's go ahead and put out a testimonial, and then we'll do the news.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So I'm just going to kind of divide this area in half for our testimonial.
Ah, gotcha.
And let's say about that size.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to put a guide in there. I'm going to pick a new layer.
All right.
I'm going to fill this area not with gray. I'm going to pick a different color. I'm going to choose, let's choose a nice blue. Control-Delete fills that area. And let's call that layer testimonial.
Gotcha.
Testimonial.
Go ahead and name that layer beneath.
Right, the layer is the products. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and do the news area, since we have, we're encroaching on its area. I'm going to select that. It's not going to snap, but I can see pretty well. Let's go ahead. Okay. Make a new layer again.
Mm-hmm.
We'll call this news, and we will select a new color. Let's just go down the rainbow here.
And if you haven't caught on yet, guys, any color will do.
Right. This is just for placement.
Right.
Okay. And once again, I'm going to split this area in half. We had that idea for the product recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to throw that in there.
All right.
And along with the history.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this doesn't have to be pixel perfect at this point. But we're just blocking this out.
Sure.
So I'm picking another color. Control-Delete. And we'll call this layer history.
All right.
And one more layer, and we'll be done. And we'll pick another color. And we'll call this layer
Recall.
All right. Now you see there's a little white gap in there. Let me go ahead
of a gap.
and touch that up real quick. I said it didn't have to be pixel perfect, but it's
here
nice when it is.
Here he is making it pixel perfect all the same.
I can't help myself.
That's okay. We have a perfectionist in the house. No problem.
And you see this overlaps just one pixel, and so I'm going to nudge that down and click the delete button, and voila, we have pixel perfection.
Nice.
Okay, so we have this nice little Mondrian painting. But this gives you an idea. We've blocked out the areas that we'll be filling in shortly.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So I guess that's everything that we really wanted to show in this video. So that'll wrap it up. Thanks a lot.
Okay.